Brand new season, brand new dawn for
Box.
and it's lights out and away we go.
Simply lovely. I was really enjoying that last
Hey guys, welcome back to Box, where I am still playing catch up. And this week we are talking the Dutch Grand Prix. It was the first race back after summer break, and it certainly didn't disappoint. So, let's get into it. Red Bull. Well, they both made it through to Q3. Max, once again, qualifying on pole for the 9th time this season at his home race, while Checo managed a P7. But again, there was no real competition out front. Once, Max got out there was no stopping him. Claimed his 11th win of the season. Checo managed to make some moves, finishing the race just shy of a podium in P4. Was it the best weekend for the team? No, because ultimately they want P1s and 2s and they got a P1 and a P4. So, but points are points and the weak link seems to be improving. So there are positive signs. Mercedes. Another mixed weekend for the team. Georgie Boy qualified in P3, while Lewis seemingly struggled, tapped out in Q2 for the first time since Miami with a P13. Things dramatically reversed themselves in Sunday's race, with George dropping 13 places to end the race in P17. Lewis, on the other hand, made up 7 spots to finish in P6. Overall, this weekend was just kind of a letdown for the team and not really how I think they imagined it would be going, especially in the push towards the end of the season. Ideally, they probably would have liked to have bagged another double podium, another double points pin, a double podium in general, a double points finish, and pick up where they left off in Belgium. But alas, we don't always get what we want. And there's no team that knows that better than Ferrari. So, on to them. Both drivers made it through to Q3, but was it their best performance? Absolutely not. Carlos managed to bag himself a P6 start, while Charles Leclerc seemed to struggle, only managing a P9 start. The race seemed to be difficult for the duo, with Carlos only managing to gain a single place to finish in P5, while Charles failed to finish the race altogether after crashing his Ferrari on multiple occasions, including the opening lap, where he got floor damage. There was a crash with Oscar Piastri in there as well. Ultimately, just not his weekend. Overall, they still scored some points, but Charles' error will prove to be costly, given he had the potential to score some decent points and help both him and the team out in their various and respective championship battles, but didn't, because you have to finish the race to do that. On to Aston Martin. Fernando keeps his streak alive post-summer break, once again making it through to Q3 and securing himself a P5 start. Lance, on the other hand, seemed to once again be struggling with the car, failing to get into Q3, failing to get his car any higher than P11. Nevertheless, he still positioned himself well to gain points on Sunday, theoretically. Fernando managed to manoeuvre himself and his car up the order and secured himself yet another podium finish, gaining 3 places and finishing in P2. But apparently Lance didn't get that memo, failing to gain any positions and maintaining his P11 throughout the race, which is probably not the way that he wanted to start his run into the end of the season, especially with the form that Fernando has been in and the obvious capabilities of the car. So fingers crossed, it was just that he was still in holiday mode and he'll be good to go next week. McLaren. Yet again, there was a papaya on the front row, with Lando qualifying just behind the reigning world champ in his home race, at the reigning world champ's home race. OP wasn't too far behind, having also gotten his car into Q3 and getting a P8. But Sunday, they did slide and they did go backwards, like they have done many a time before. The difference being this time, they remained in the points, and that is a positive. Lando dropped 5 places to finish in P7, while OP only lost 1 to finish in P9. And while it was probably not the weekend they were hoping for, they still bagged a double points finish first week back from the summer break. So, still time to build on that. Alpine. It was not a great quali for the Frenchmen this week, with neither able to get to Q3. Esteban was knocked out in Q1 with a P17 start, while Pierre managed to get to Q2, but only managed to secure a P12 start. But moves were made, that's for sure, and they managed to bag a double points finish. Esty Bestie, he gained 7 places to end the race in P10, rounding out the points positions. While Pierre had a miraculous drive, God knows how he did it, but he made up 9 places to finish on the podium and in P3, which is an absolutely phenomenal effort. If only the team had more weekends like this one. Not the quali bit, but the gaining points and great drives bit. They would be doing so much better in the championship and be so much more competitive. And I think they really need to have a look at what they got right on race day and how they can implement that, or a version of that, moving forward in different races. Because maybe then they won't be so mediocre. But anyway, on to Haas. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet because they once again didn't really do anything, and I'm getting sick and tired of acknowledging their mediocrity. Hulk qualified P15, K-Mag P18. Shocker. No moves were made in terms of the race, really. Like there was some, but nothing great. Hulk finished in P12, gaining 3 places. K-Mag P16, so 2 places. That's about it. Didn't see him. That's the extent of their weekend. Williams. They were back with a bang and it was absolutely glorious. Both cars through to Q3. That's right, both cars. Alex and Logan. Albano coming out of nowhere and placing his car in P4 with little Logie Sarge in P10. But alas, things don't always work out how we want them to. And given that Logan only managed P10, because he crashed his car out in a rather nasty accident just a few minutes into Q3, ending his day. So the potential was there for a possibly higher start for him. Alex managed to finish in the points, but he did drop 4 places to finish in P8, which is still a great effort, and the points are still valuable to him and the team. And the team managed to piece together Logan's car once again, but he did crash it once again on lap 16, this time due to a hydraulics failure, seeing him DNF. So that one wasn't entirely his fault, but it's not all doom and gloom. There are positive signs to be taken from this, and hopefully moving forward they'll be able to have more double Q3 appearances and convert those into double points finishes. On to Alfa Romeo. And another team that didn't really do anything noteworthy, so I'm going to, again, keep this one brief. Both drivers out in Q1. Valtteri in P19, Zhou in P16. Neither made any great moves. VB finished in P14, and Zhou DNF'd in the rain after losing grip into turn 1, going straight on. They both made appearances in the points at some point or other, but didn't have the pace to stay there, or really challenge for those positions. So that's it for Alfa Romeo. On to AlphaTauri. This one hurt a little bit. What a weekend for the team, and not in a good way. DR, Danny Rick, Daniel Ricciardo, my Aussie. He crashed out in free practice, avoiding my other Aussie, Oscar Piastri, who also crashed out in free practice, and broke his hand, ruling him out for the foreseeable future. But thankfully, he was okay, and the team had their reserve driver, Liam Lawson, on standby. So man's got to make his F1 debut. And when I say Danny he was okay, he was otherwise okay, other than the hand. Quali was understandably a little rough for Liam, given that it was his first F1 qualifying and his first day in the car. So he started on the back of the grid. Yuki managed to get into Q2, not SQ2, this wasn't a sprint weekend, but failed to get any higher than P14. Moves were made in the race though, with Liam on debut making up 7 positions. Just gonna let that sink in for a second. 7 positions on debut to finish in front of his teammate on debut in P13. Yuki, on the other hand, went backwards and finished in P15. Make of that what you will. While no points were scored, I don't think the team would be too disappointed given the disruption and the last minute changes that they had to make. And all in all, Liam did super well to make up those positions and finish in front of his teammate. And Yuki, on the other hand, I don't really know what his excuse is. He's been doing this for a while now. But I'm gonna put it down to the car being a little bit on the crappier side. But this has been another episode of Box Box. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, all of the fun things. And I will catch you in the next one. See you guys.